What's up guys, Tay here. I know we did a question and answer video. That was our very first video, but we got so many new people that are watching our videos and are asking us for another Q&A. So we're just gonna answer not as many questions, but just a few of the most asked questions that you guys have sent us on Instagram.
And some of them are really good questions, and some of them you may have heard the answer before.
We don't mind doing it again.
Not at all. And I feel like it's more fun for you guys to really learn a lot about us, so you feel like we're friends.
We're friends. So first question, how did you guys meet? So we met in high school in 2016, as a lot of you may know already. But yeah, high school 2016. I was very different back then.
100%.
Her too.
Yeah.
Her little curly hair wasn't there. It was non-existent.
Nope. I had straight hair. It was absolutely horrifying.
What did you think of me the first time you saw me?
Well, I remember it being exciting to see another person of melanated skin.
And that was
because there wasn't anybody that was like black. There was like a few, but he was the first one that I saw. So it was like I immediately walked into the room and spotted him. And I also remember spotting him very easily because he was wearing all red, literally like a red zip up. It was a red zip up Nike jacket with matching Nike joggers and a red beanie.
Oh, I remember that. Dang, I was statement.
And his shoes were red too, and they had, I don't know if you remember them, but they had a zipper up the side, and they were high top.
Yeah.
Damn,
I was out there.
And I literally, a lot of people are going to be like, oh my god, that's so cute that she remembers, but it's like I literally remember because my initial thought was actually, really? You had to wear all red like that? It's a little too much. You know what I mean?
Interesting style back then.
He did. But I'll tell you one thing, he matched. There was not a day that went by that his outfit did not match literally perfectly. Yeah. Which was funny to me. But
I remember walking past you at first in the hallway, but I don't think she saw me, or maybe she did, I don't know. But
probably not.
I first walked past her in the hallway and I was like, interesting. And then, you know, another person, because the school was so small, like there was not that many people. I was like, oh, there's a new person, cool. And then it was in where you saw me.
That room.
Yeah. Oh. And I was sitting down, and then she came into the classroom, and I kind of just like looked up, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I kind of just went back to doing what I was doing.
I like how our initial reaction to each other was literally just, oh my god, another black person.
Yeah,
cool,
literally.
Cool. Yeah. Like, that was it. There was nothing past that.
Yeah. It was funny because when she first approached me, it was because of one of my beanies too, because she really liked it. You were very like, I could tell she was shy because she was very like, you know, she wasn't
outgoing.
How do I explain it? Like, you know, when you just like walk into a room and you just like, you know,
exude confidence.
Like, you know, you were very closed off and like, you know, hoodie all the way up. Like, you know, she was very...
Since you guys have asked these questions, I'm going to give a little bit more detail for this situation on this one. The reason I came off that way is because it was literally the day of my 16th birthday, and I was starting at a school that I didn't want to be at because I had gotten sick in high school and had to switch to a school that could, like, accommodate me more. So... they had more of a flexible schedule, and I was used to very like get up, do this, do that, whatever. So I didn't want to be there, and I think I really gave off the energy that I didn't want to be there, like the first probably few weeks. But I remember a lot of people that like I'm still friends with now that I met at that school said that exact thing, like, oh, I remember when I first met you, you looked very uncomfortable. And I was like, well, I probably was. So
like when she first approached me, I thought that was a little bit funny, like when we first like interacted with each other.
Oh, like the first time we talked to each other.
Yeah.
Well, embarrassing. I had two really close female friends that were like, oh, you should like try to make friends with some of the people who go here, you know, whatever, and just start socializing, and it'd be nice for you to make friends with people basically gently, who look like you. So I was like, okay, yeah, like, you know, I'm gonna try to just kind of get out of my shell. And because he was always matching, he just kind of always stood out. But he didn't talk to anybody either. So I thought, oh, okay, he's bold with the outfits, but then doesn't talk to anybody. Sounds like my kind of friend. So I walked up to him one day when school had ended and just said, you know, like, hey, by the way, I like your beanie. He was wearing this beanie that wasn't even that cute. And I was like, oh, hey, like, I like your beanie. And he was literally like this on his phone, bent over. And then I was like, oh, he's bending over. He doesn't really look like he wants to talk, but like, I'll see if he responds. And he looked up so surprised that I had even spoken to him and was like, oh, like, thanks. Yeah. And that was it. And I thought, that was my effort. So that was kind of how it started. Did I say to you that day too, like, you should, like, I noticed you always wear beanies or something like that? And then I said,
so. I remember just sitting there because, yeah, like she said, I didn't really talk to anyone. And I was just sitting there, and I was genuinely surprised that she said something. And I just acknowledged it. I was like, oh, thanks. Because you know, I don't really talk to people, and then, you know, now I do a little bit more, but back then I was so antisocial, it's not even funny.
A lot more. You talk to people a lot more.
Thanks. And then that's all I remember.
Thinking back now, I was so cringy, but I wasn't hitting on you. I was literally just trying to, like, make friends with you. So it was like, oh, hey, I like your beanie. That seemed like a cool line to use. And then it became like an inside joke because every time he would come, he would wear a new one. And I kept thinking, where are you getting all these beanies, dude?
Bro, I got so many beanies after
literally, each beanie matched the outfit perfectly. Right. People,
so many beanies.
So many beanies.
I remember this one time I was sitting in the classroom, and then one of her friends, she came in and she was like, oh, can I have your number? And I was like, I was even more confused because I didn't talk to anybody in there, and all of a sudden all these people are talking to me. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, sure. So then this friend asked me, so there's 3 people. There's friend number 1, friend number 2, and then Taeler. So then friend number 1 came into the classroom, and then she asked for my number, and I was like, okay, like, I never talked to this person before like that, so I don't know, but whatever. And then I gave her my number, and then that same day after school, this person started to text me, which, you know, I'm thinking is friend number 1 because she was the one that asked me for my number. But then this whole time, it was friend number 2 that I never met. I was like, okay, why is this person texting me if I never met this person? And then this person was texting me for her. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, what is going on? It's like I had to go to 2 people just for her to talk to her. I was like, bro, what? That's so random. I don't know what happened after that. Like, did we exchange numbers or what?
I remember because I texted you and just said, like, hey, I was wondering if it was okay that, like, I got your number from my friend. And he was like, oh, wait, yeah, who? And I said, like, my friend's name, and he was like, who is that? And then so that was when he put the whole story together of who he was actually talking to and who asked for the number. It was some crazy stuff. I was young, dumb, and stupid, but it's okay. Well, that's a long-winded way of telling you guys that's how we met and that's how our friendship started.
Yeah. How long have you known each other? So, 2016?
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 6 years. Will be 7 on my birthday next year.
Yeah. Another question that you guys also ask a lot is, what is the secret to your love? That sounds so deep.
It's very poetic.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a secret.
I feel like the one thing that helped us, how do I say, unintentionally, was we were such good friends first, and we stayed good friends first for such a long time.
Definitely.
That, like, it was just, once we started dating, it was just, you know, it was easy.
And something I think a lot of people don't know, to really give you an idea of how we were friends for a while firsthand, is we saw each other through other relationships. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we've always liked each other, we were just friends, blah, blah, blah. It was like, no, we were literally just friends, would hang out sometimes, you know, whatever, and had other people in our lives too, and still just stayed friends, never really saw anything more until COVID. COVID. But I do feel that because we were friends first and we were so comfortable, you know, being around each other and, you know, all that kind of awkwardness you experience when you first meet somebody and you're trying to create a romantic connection, we didn't really have to go through that because we already knew each other. So I feel like that's one, like, secret, I guess, to our love.
We didn't rush anything.
No, definitely not. 3 tips for relationship advice?
3 tips for it? Or just 3?
3 tips for relationships.
Yeah. What do you got?
Being that individually we get coached because we have a life coach. I've learned a lot about myself through coaching, also through therapy that I got when I was younger. And I really established a need for healthy communication. So that would be one for me. A solid foundation of trust and respect. Those would be the 3 pillars: communication, trust, and respect.
And I feel like another important thing is knowing each other's love language, you know, and not loving them in your love language, but in their love language. And that's something that we learned a little later on that made things so much simpler. So I feel like that's another huge thing. And also knowing how we argue and how we respond to, you know, different things that makes us upset or uncomfortable, you know. And it makes the communication side of things that much easier. So
100%.
Do you guys fight at all?
Yes, we do. Over silly things sometimes, but we definitely do. I'm gonna say not the word fight, but rather argue. Yeah. Like, we get into heated conversation.
Oh,
sometimes.
really?
Sometimes.
Like, what is heated conversation to you?
Okay, when I tell you that I'm on my way, and then something delays me, yeah. And then I get there, and you know I'm still showing up anyway, but yet you still are like, what took you so long to get here?
Like passive aggressive?
Like, yeah. Exactly. And, or when... Or
As soon as they stop, just say.
When
they're building her a new house.
When you
Just go to bed.
Or when he's trying to tell me something and I happen to be doing something else because he thinks that I cannot do something else and still listen.
Because I need you to look at me when I'm talking to you.
He needs eye contact. I don't.
And the last question is how to have body confidence. Tell the people.
Well, I get asked this a lot, and it's crazy because I never thought that I would be somebody that would get this question, because I tended to ask other people the same exact question. Really learning to not compare yourself to other people is a really big step in the right direction, and realizing that literally no one is you. No one. Even if you have a sibling, whatever, your sister, uncle, mom, whatever, nobody is you. You are unique. You are special, and you are divinely made. And coming to terms with that and really embracing the power that's within that understanding will really give you a major confidence boost, because you're just comparing yourself to people who cannot be you, and that's just unfair to you and it's unfair to them. And take the time to really love yourself, almost as though you were dating a person. Date yourself. Take yourself out. Get to know yourself. What do you like? What do you enjoy doing? What makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside? All those things can be small, but they build up to you just feeling good about yourself all the time. When you walk into a room or you're in a space with other people, walk with your head high and your shoulders back. Command the room. Even if part of you on the inside is a tiny chihuahua peeing on the floor, just walk in with Rottweiler energy and no one will know that you're not confident. They won't. And they tend to be even more intimidated by the fact that you walk in so boldly and so strongly. So those would be my things that I would share for people who are working on their confidence.
It helps you gain more confidence even if you're not confident.
It does.
Because you're going to walk in a room like, damn, I did that. Do you always feel confident?
I do not always feel confident. Even sitting in this top right now, I'm trying to make sure my arms are covering my tummy because I don't feel confident all the time.
I love the tummy.
No. But it's small moments. Like I'd say 5 to 10% of my day I don't feel confident. But the other 90% I just have learned and taken the time to really get myself where I'm at now and how I feel about myself.
I love your rose.
Also helps when you have good people in your circle who remind you to do those things.
That's true. Have good people in your circle.
100%.
Make you feel confident.
Yeah.
Who can remind you how beautiful you are.
Yeah. People who build you up, not people who tear you down.
Exactly.
That was probably our most frequently asked questions.
There we go. We will see you next time.
Bye.